what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. Gonna break down the techniques to start with for a beginner on acoustic guitar. And these are the quickest ways to start having fun with acoustic guitar, like in the right order. So I think this will really help you if you're trying to learn guitar and you're curious, etc. This will get you going. Also, real quick though, you want to get the Ultimate Guitar Guide, which has the diagrams for the scales and chords I talk about in this video. And that's a free PDF that's like the foundation of guitar in one book. And you can get that totally for free in the link down there. So check out the link down there, get that free guitar guide, and let's have some fun right now. Here we go. Okay, so here are techniques for beginner acoustic guitar players. And I'm gonna do it in the order of what I think you should know. One, you gotta have your guitar in tune. There's plenty of videos on how to tune your guitar. I have a little tuner on the back, this little micro tuner on the back. Makes it very easy to keep your guitar in tune. On an acoustic guitar, I think the most fun you can have right away is being able to strum the basic open chords like all of that gets you playing music. It's relaxing, it's therapeutic. You can play a million songs with the open chord. So that's what I recommend starting with. And the order to learn those, which are in other beginner lessons of mine, but here's my angle in this video, is start with 2 or 3 chords and practice switching just those 2 or 3 shapes. The beginner chords I usually teach are E minor first, which is the 2nd fret of the A string and the 2nd fret of the D string. I'm using my pointer and middle finger. There's gonna be other times where you use your middle and 3rd finger. And you wanna think about it as the very tips of your fingers pressing down. If you're a super beginner, it may hurt a little bit or just feel a little uncomfortable, but if you just play even just 5 to 10 minutes a day, that should go away in a week. So you got E minor. The other thing is use the very tips of your fingers, and you also want to look at your palm to make sure, for E minor for instance, that it's not touching the other strings, because the E minor chord, all the strings ring out. And so that's a good test, is to form the chord and then pick each string out to make sure they're all ringing out. And what's great is you have a 2nd chord with this exact same fingering. All you do is take both fingers and move them down 1 string to that. It's a nice pretty chord called A suspended 2 or A sus 2. Now the thing with the A sus 2 is I'm not strumming this thickest string. This 2nd thickest string, 5th string, is the open A. It's an A note. And chords get their name from typically the lowest note called the root of the chord. Now if you strummed the thickest string with that, it still sounds all right. But is a little bit better. So you have 2 chords right away with the same fingering, and you can strum those. And so don't get overwhelmed by learning 20 chords first. Start with learning 2 and then 3 chords and get those first. And what's great about that 2nd chord, the A sus 2, is you can add your 3rd finger to that 2nd fret B string. And now that's a really important chord called A major. So once you get that down, you can start practicing E minor to A major. Now, there's two different chords you can start messing with from those first two. And it was actually the first chord I ever learned was D major. And we're going to take our index finger and we're going to put it on the 2nd fret G string. And then our middle finger on the 2nd fret high E. 3rd finger, that finger right there, is going to be on the 3rd fret B string. And so once again, instead of learning 20 chords, start with 2, get the 1 chord down, then a 2nd chord, then a 3rd chord, and start practice switching them. So A major to D major go great, E minor to D major, E minor, D, A, D, E minor. Any combination now, they sound good together. So don't get overwhelmed. Just start with those 3 chords and start strumming them. And so, as I said, being able to switch all the open chords is, I think, the first goal you should set on acoustic guitar. And so here's another thing about that. When you're starting to memorize multiple shapes, you want to think of whatever finger is on the thickest string of the chord. So for instance, D major. It's the 2nd fret G string. All the other fingers go there. But if you think of that thickest stringed finger as like your anchor point, and then the other fingers form, that'll get you memorizing the chord quicker than everything at once. So it's like these little shortcuts. For E minor, you think of that 2nd fret A string, and then get that other finger there. For A major, it's the same thing, 2nd fret, but on the D string. Other fingers get in there. And the D is the index finger as well, and it's the 2nd fret as well, but the G string. That's the little TV jingle. So the other thing about that is as you learn chords and you start to add, let's say, 4 different chords to switch from, another exercise to do is to take the shape, keep the shape, like E minor, this one, and then take your hand off trying to keep the shape. It won't be perfect, but then put it back down and play it again and make whatever corrections you need to make. So for a D chord, got that. Keep the shape, which I've done this for many, many years. Might be harder as a beginner, but, and then put it back down and then, make the corrections that you need. That'll get you playing quicker. And also when you focus on playing the thicker finger first, it gives you a little split second as you're strumming downward to get those other fingers in time, like. Not a lot of time, but it does give you a little extra moment to get those fingers down. So now let's talk about the other open chords. From E minor, you can take your middle finger and go up to the 3rd fret E while keeping that index finger there. And that, just doing that, if I don't strum that high E and I just go, that's a G major. I kind of call it the cheater G major. And then eventually get that 3rd finger down on the high E string. And now you have another chord. And the more of these you learn, the more you'll see what fingers share. Sometimes chords have the same note in there. So E minor and G major both have the 2nd fret A string there. So you'll start to notice that. So we have E minor, A sus2, add a finger, makes it A major, D major, and then E minor to G is a better way to learn G. Start with just that. actually add that 3rd fret high E. Then there's another way to play G major, 2 other ways I recommend once you get that down, is you put that 3rd finger on the 3rd fret B and grab that 3rd fret high E with your pinky. And what's great about that version of G is that that 3rd finger right there is on the 3rd fret B string, which is already there for a D chord. So there's certain songs where you're going to want to play G this way to D, and they just switch so great because you have that 3rd finger as a little pivot point. So another crucial chord is C major, and you take your 3rd finger and you play it on the 3rd fret A string, and then you play 2nd fret D string, open G string, and then your index goes to the 1st fret B string. And once again, you want to think of the thickest string as the 1st finger that kind of locate the locator point for the rest of the chord. So for C major, think of 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. And it also lines your hand up to make the rest of the chord. And what's great from there is take your 3rd finger off and tuck it behind on the 2nd fret G string, and now you have A minor. And these are all in my Ultimate Guitar Guide, the diagrams for these. So be sure to get that in that link below. So a great little thing to practice is just switching C and A minor as another little set of 2 chords to start going between. So from there, if you have A minor, the next one from A minor is you can keep that exact same shape of fingers and scoot it up a string. So that would be 2nd fret with the middle finger on the A string, 3rd fret with the 2nd fret on the D string, and then 1st fret on the G string, and then strum all 6 strings. And we learned earlier E minor, but now this is E major. And this is another one of those crucial chords. So far we have E minor, A sus2, add that finger, it becomes A major. We have D major. We've got G major, another way to play G major. We have C major and A minor. And then scoot that shape up and it's E major. And those are the chords that you should start with. And out of those, you can pick any 2. I mean, it could be E major. Typically, you're not going to go E major to E minor. They're versions. Minor is like a sad version of a chord. Major is a happy version. They don't usually, sometimes they do, but most of the time, you're not going to play a E major to E minor or an E minor to E major, at least as a beginner. So don't do that, but take any 2 chords, like C to D. Any 2 chords that we did in this video so far can be practiced together. So you can have fun, challenge yourself, just pick 2 out of all of these and just start switching between the 2. Another great thing is if you're like watching a movie or watching something on TV or you're multitasking, you can literally just start programming the muscle memory of the left hand, like, and not strum it, like G to D, G to D, G to D, G to D, you know, E minor to A, or E minor to A sus2, E minor to A sus2, E minor to G, E minor to G, E minor to G, E minor to G. And then when you start to be able to flow between these chords, like I said, it's really true. I'm not exaggerating. There's millions of songs with these basic open chords. And then when you see people with a capo, That's a way to play even more songs without having to learn the next step, which are called bar chords, which are a little more challenging. You don't want to really work too much on those till you can flow with these basic open chords. Something that will be great for you is then to learn a scale, which is a grouping of single notes. And the one I recommend is called the E minor pentatonic or the G major pentatonic. They're the same thing. And if you're a beginner right now, let's not even worry about getting into explaining that. Let's just start working on the actual technique of it and what you need to do. This will be great for your furthering technique development. So it's going to be open E string, and then with your third finger, the third fret E. And these were all these great riffs and melodies come from in this first part of playing guitar. So open, third fret, open A, and then middle finger on the second fret. So like, that kind of thing. It's all from that kind of stuff. So open, third fret, open, second fret with the middle finger, open again, second fret with the middle finger again, open again, second fret with the middle finger again. Then open B string, and then third fret B string with the third finger, and then open high E, third fret high E. So that was open to fret, 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 open to fret. Then you're going to do the opposite. Third fret open, third fret open, second fret open with the middle, second fret open with the middle, second fret open with the middle, second fret open. And that's also going to be what you're going to play blues with. And so that would be something that would be just really good for you before you even are fully understanding what to do with it. That's just like an amazing thing to practice. So between all those open chord shapes and that scale, those are the techniques you should focus on first. Get those down. And if you get those open chords, you can start looking up easy acoustic songs to play on guitar, and they're going to be made up of all of those chords. So start with that and have some fun. Be patient too. All right, I hope you guys dug the lesson. Once again, thank you so much for your continued support. Also, it'll really help you to get that Ultimate Guitar Guide PDF down in the link down there. It'll help with this lesson and so many more. Have a lot of fun. I hope it helped you, and I hope to see you again real soon. See ya.